Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So Dan, we played Swindon Town at home and it was 1-1.
Yep.
Score draw.
Yeah.
Pair of legs.
Is that what they say?
I'm saying it.
All the ones.
All the ones. 11.
Legs 11, that's what it is.
Oh, legs 11. That doesn't work. It's 1-1. No one scored 11.
No.
You were there, I was there.
We were both
the
there.
Sunshine was there. About 5,500 other people were there.
It was good to have a full away end, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, not that they were like making a huge amount of noise, actually.
No, Tranmere last year was much better with half the number.
Yeah, but it did look good, and
Yeah.
it gave that kind of like nice sort of feel, didn't it, of a full ground.
Almost a local derby.
Is it?
Well, southern, innit? You get a bit desperate, don't you, down in the West Country?
Yeah.
But we drew with Swindon, who went top because of the result, and we sit in second.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit anticlimactic, really, wasn't it? I suppose in the end, it was about right.
I thought we'd snuck it.
Yeah. I think everyone did. I think including the players.
Unfortunately so,
That's
especially
what
with the
happened
disallowed goal. So, listeners, if you don't know, City scored in about the 75th minute. Matt J clipped it over the keeper after Lee Martin hammered it into the box. And then...
I think that was a shot.
Probably so. Much like Nicky Law's shot the week previous that Bowman put in.
There are a few things like that happening, aren't there? There was that, and then we had another one where we blocked one of our own shots off the line again.
That was
But it
last
definitely
week.
going in. Both of those two
Keep
definitely
happening,
going in.
Anyway, so, and then Swindon went up the other end and thought they'd equalise, but it was ruled out.
For handball, I think.
Believe handball, and then they equalised anyway.
Are we sort of like beneficiaries of that new rule there, I think, aren't we?
Stupid new rule.
I'm not really
where
sure
it
what the
hits
new
your
rule
hand.
is.
The new rule is any touch with your hand or arm counts as a handball. Intentional, next to the body, anything.
Is it only if in the lead up to a goal, though?
Well, I think they only look at it in the lead up to a goal.
Right, okay.
But in theory, any time.
Yeah, because he kind of like, I didn't really see what happened, but the ref indicated that kind of he brought his arm up above his face. Now, everyone from when you're in primary school knows, you know, if you're putting your hands up to, that used to be it, or at least that's what people used to say. If you're putting your hands
Protecting
up
my
to
face.
protecting my face,
Protecting my face, ref.
then that was
Protecting
fine.
my privates, ref.
Yeah, that was fine. Or if it's going in front of into your balls, yeah, like either of those two, that's, you know,
Yeah, you could be
no
quite
foul.
an effective striker by just clenching a fist in front of your knackers and kind of punching it away into the goal.
You could work on that, yeah.
Good work on that. Good luck, everyone. You probably need a different name. So that's what happened. Swindon then equalised 1-1. It was probably a fair result.
Yeah, on balance. I think the first half went to them, second half to us, just about, do you think?
I think so. We were a pretty slow start again, weren't we, first half?
Well, yeah, and it's sort of like a kind of an analogy for the season, isn't it, so far? I know we're only 3 games in, but if you compare it to last season, where we were sort of barnstorming sort of start,
Yeah.
and then it kind of dropped off. This season so far, it's been a bit like, 3 games, we've, got 7 points from 3 games. We've looked pretty good, but not overwhelming. We've only scored 1 goal in each of the 3 games.
But
we're, you can't really argue with it, can you?
No, cannot.
And there's plenty of areas where you can point out that are sort of cause for concern. But so far,
Getting some results.
The results show that it's fine.
I think we're making changes to answer those causes for concern slowly.
Yeah.
I think so. I love the term barnstorming. It kind of makes me think of like a West Country stormtrooper. What are you doing? Trooping a storm? No, I'm storming a barn.
Yeah.
That's
I like
what we're
it as well.
doing.
I love a
Hay,
barn.
there's hay gone everywhere.
Yeah.
Chickens, eggs. That's us. No, that's not us. We're the opposite. We're like strolling a path.
Yeah. I mean, these are all sort of Devon things, aren't they? Where I've basically never been to the countryside, even though I'd be considered a proper sort of local farmer by the rest of the country.
I mean,
I don't really like going anywhere where there's no concrete or 4G.
You've been spoiled by Pennsylvania. 4G. Well, good. Anyway, so City. I mean, what were the strong points? I'd like to say this. I think Lewis Ward. First of all, I spotted him. I texted you, didn't I? In the week in Alphington Road, Sainsbury's, with his mum and dad.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
It
He
was
seems like a
nice.
nice guy, doesn't he?
He does seem like a nice guy. He looked really young. I mean,
Yeah.
massive.
How old is he? He's not that young.
24. No, he looks younger than that.
Yeah. I also saw him in town wearing some flip-flops.
Good, Lewis. Don't wear them on the pitch, please. I thought he played well again.
Yeah,
Thought he was
good game, didn't he?
I think you can really notice the difference, actually. Like, I was always a fan of Pim. I thought, he didn't do much wrong, but Ward just has got a certain kind of air of authority that...
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I don't think Pim really ever messed this up too badly, but when our centre-backs pass it back to him, which happens a fair bit, I feel a little bit more assured than I did when it was Pim. And
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
sure why, because I'm not saying he did anything worse,
I think
especially the ball at his feet. Maybe he's just not. It wasn't because he wasn't quite such a good kicker, Pim.
I
as
don't know if I'm
Ward,
reading
and
this into it, but it seems like... It felt like when Pim was in goal, the defenders would be more reluctant to pass it back to him, and so it would come back, and then inevitably he'd put it out for a throw.
Yeah.
Lewis Ward, it seems to come back a lot and quite regularly, and he's dealt with everything, hasn't he?
He's
Pretty
got-
much.
he's got a
pretty
good
much.
hoof on him.
Yeah.
Decent set of hooves.
Yeah. Like that about him.
Yeah, he was good.
Aaron Martin came in and did well.
Yeah, they did well, didn't they? And
With
Moxie
Moxie.
as well. I think he kind of like Moxie was decent, like in the air from defending corners.
Made a good block on the line.
Both
first
of them
half.
made good blocks on the line,
Trent,
actually. Yeah, they were decent. I mean, it's a strange one with Aaron Martin, isn't it? I mean,
Completely out of favour. Back in favour.
yeah, always out of favour, and yet whenever he's called upon, always seems to do a decent job. I know some people have got their doubts over just about him, and I'm not like 100%. I don't think of him in the same way as I thought of, say, Dara O'Shea or Troy Brown at full fitness, or even Matt Taylor from back in the day. I don't think of them Martin quite as the same in that category as them, but I don't think but he's not too far off, is he?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why
And yet,
he's not first choice.
yeah, but when
it'd be interesting
Tom
to see.
Parks is back, he'll be out again, won't he?
Well, will he? That'd be interesting to see, I suppose, whether Moxie goes back to left back. So Parks has been suspended for 3 games, but I think there's also another suspension because of... So is it 4 games? I don't know.
Really?
Well, did
So
I
it's
make
only
that up?
3.
It depends if you appeal, does it? You get an extra one added on?
Oh, you do if you lose the appeal, I think.
I don't know.
They won't appeal that. He elbowed him in the face.
He's out for a while. He's out for another 2 games at least, isn't
Yeah.
he? So if you have 2 more sterling performances from Martin and Moxie, do you keep Woodman at left back and keep Moxie in the middle? And
No.
Parks has to come back in? Do you move Moxie to left back?
I don't think that's ever really the answer, that sentence you just said. Partly because, I mean, this is a bit of a catch-22 with Craig Woodman, I think, isn't it? Because Swindon, on the counter-attack in the first half, they looked absolutely rapid. We were up at the big bank end where we were shooting to in the first half, like looking like we were like about to like create a chance. 2 seconds later, the ball's down the other end of the pitch, and
Yeah.
they've just like bombed it on.
Yeah.
And when your fullbacks are, let's forget about Sweeney for a minute, but let's think about down that our left-hand side. Craig Goodman obviously hasn't got that kind of pace. He's 38. How would he? You know?
Yeah.
Would he?
No
But
good, yeah.
he actually did defend them really well. And I thought in the first half with Collins and Taylor actually mopped up and helped out on those counter-attacks, defending those counter-attacks really well.
Yeah.
And they looked dangerous, but they didn't score.
No.
So the defence did do its job, but then getting forward. So, what I'm saying about Woodman is that defensively, you can't really, he's really solid. And his experience, obviously, he makes him difficult to get past once they've come to a halt, in a one-on-one situation. But getting forward a couple of times down that left-hand side, it was like, waiting, for hours for him to get up the line. And he never got there.
Well, indeed. There's a new signing, of course, which relates to this conversation, which is this lad, Jaden Richardson.
Yeah, down the other side, though, isn't he?
He's the other side, he is.
Which we and everyone else had been saying we needed, backup in that position.
Indeed. But yeah, Woodman. So you'd have Moxie back at left back. So would Martin then partner with Parks? Guess there's scope for that.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm also not sure kind of the deal with is one of them right-footed and one, obviously Moxie's left-footed, isn't he? So it suits to have him there with a right footer rather than two. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Gary Warren, I think, is the answer. Just have him on there on his own.
Sure. See, like a Van Dijk style.
Yeah, like 7 in midfield.
Warren just glaring at people.
3 up top. Wait, does that work? 2 up top. Just Warren in defence. Lewis Ward in goal. Please, Matthew.
Sort it out, Matt Taylor, please. Which reminds me of a granddad who was behind me at the game on Saturday, who was just shouting at Matt Taylor, to sort it out after about 3 minutes and kept it up for the whole game. 1-0 up, sort it out, Taylor. Oh, my goodness me.
It was frustrating at the time, isn't it? But it's funny to think back on what
Think back on, I think, well, I'm glad he's not stood behind me now. It was mind-blowingly negative from the very off. But there we are.
Yeah, that's why people go. They just want to get all this stuff off their chest. They don't even know what it means.
Just go to the cliffs. Just shout at the cliffs.
Just shout down a well.
Shout down a well.
Shout all your negative... shout all your negativity down a well on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then turn up at SJP in the afternoon, and it's all been expelled.
Full of the joys of spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could brand it, couldn't you? Shout well, get well.
Yeah. Shout well.
Shout well.
Sounds different. No, that sounds like you're encouraging them to shout more.
Oh, I don't want
shout
that.
well. Anyway, shout down a well, turn up.
Well, if you're feeling shouty...
There's plenty of, I'm not saying there isn't a place for negativity at a football match, because there is.
True.
On the terraces, you need a bit of that. And although I'm not into this kind of like thing of booing all the time, people like booing at half-time if you're drawing.
Boo.
That used to be... Maybe I'm thinking back with rose-tinted spectacles here, but like booing used to be reserved for like when you were like rock bottom of the league or on a terrible run or your club's being run out of business or something.
Yeah.
Now, it seems like a team gets booed whatever happens if they're not winning. Like literally not even if they're losing. You could be drawing. It's like, oh, we're all booing at half-time because we're not winning. Like, what is that? Or has that always been the case?
I don't think so. I mean, I remember more.
I hate it.
I think a lot of people spent a lot of time thinking up good insults for opposition players. You don't hear that much anymore.
Do you not?
Not enough.
Were you not there on Saturday?
I wouldn't stood near you. What did you hear?
Well...
Oh, well, I heard that. Yeah, but that's too easy, isn't it?
It is a bit. And I always think, like I don't care. Like, I know you're going to get... I know that's going to happen. Every time he turns up, you're going to get those chants and whatever. I don't have an opinion on people saying them or not. But you're getting his name wrong. His name's McCormick. Luke McCormick. And yet all the chants are all Luke McCormack. That's not his name. It's literally, you're looking at the back at his back where it says his name across his shoulders. It's McCormick. So if you're going to slag someone off, at least get their name right. Because I just think he's down there going like, well, they're not talking about me. Because my name's McCormick.
I feel sorry for this Luke McCormack.
It's embarrassing. It makes us look like, half-wits.
Okay. Well, there you go. Get his name right.
And I do kind of think, like, give him a bit of shit, but, like, get behind the team more so,
Well, so that's an interesting thing then, isn't it? Do we now boo the team and do we just hate everything? Do we love our team unconditionally? Because I don't think we love our team unconditionally enough. R.E. Jake Taylor, who was excellent on Saturday again.
Yeah, well, he went off injured, didn't he?
Went off injured, which is a concern.
I can't remember the last time that happened.
No,
literally never.
Well, he played every game last season, didn't he? But he was, again...
brilliant.
Kicking
Fantastic.
people when they were getting on the runaway.
Perfect yellow card, wasn't there? That
again, same
professional.
Again. He just worked it out like absolutely what we need.
Yeah, and like I said,
a few good shots.
Him and Collins really, both of them breaking it up, intercepting, doing such a good job of breaking up their counter attacks, and just.
I think that's a really good centre midfield partnership. And in fact, I'd say this: going forward, we had a lot more about us this week than we did the last home game.
Well, I feel like in some areas we didn't, and in some areas we did. I thought Randy Williams was less effective in this game, and others were more effective.
That's true. But I think as a system, it seemed to make more sense. It seems to look like it's working.
I think the strange thing is with the system is that, like, and you got to give these things time. We're only 3 games in, and we've been playing that 4-4-2 with Jose and Bowman.
Yeah.
And by no means is that a failed experiment, playing that way with those two. That's early days. It's going to take some time for that. And I still totally think that there's absolutely no reason why that wouldn't work once they get used to how each other play, how the team gels. But on all three occasions, when Lee Martin's come on for Nicky Jose, we have looked a different team, and that's how we've won the games.
I mean, Jose hasn't yet done anything of note.
No, but it's like...
That's not to say he's...
Let's not forget that people were slating Bowman after about the 3 games.
Yeah.
And now everyone loves him.
Yeah.
But he was really getting it, wasn't he, after the first 3 games?
He was, yeah. He was. I wonder with Jose and with Martin, because Bowman's kind of play... Although it's 4-4-2, there's a definite... you aim for Bowman, don't you? The ball goes to Bowman, because he's the big one.
It's the big man, little man.
It's the big man, little man. The Quinn Phillips.
Yeah, and it's actually, I mean, so if that's your point of reference for it, which is about 20 years old, probably
it's
more,
been a while.
25 years old, then probably maybe it's a little bit obvious.
Maybe, but...
And you have to be so good that it doesn't matter that everyone knows what you're doing, because you're too good at doing it.
Well, I wonder if this is what's going on. So Chelsea, Lampard, are actually trying to do a similar thing, I think. Giroud as the big man, or Abraham's to some extent, and there needs to be a lot of support for that because, in a sense, especially for someone like Bowman, he's not the world's greatest player, like a really good player, but he can't necessarily get the ball exactly where you want. So if Josie's the only out for that ball, that is obvious, and he's a name as well. No one's being taken by surprise by him.
No.
Whereas for example, you look at Matt Jay and you think, who's this guy? And something interesting happens.
Yeah, although he was coming from a bit deeper, wasn't he?
He was.
And I think that's where maybe
that's where Jose needs to sit. Maybe that's the difference. Because at the moment they're playing very much left and right at the top.
Yeah, and it's sometimes actually Bowman who's the one who's dropping a lot deeper to sort of win the ball back and even go and pick up. I know obviously he's still the target of the long balls, but he is dropping deeper.
Well, that shout out to Bowman for that absolutely bruising tackle second half. He came flying out of the box.
Yeah.
So there was going to be another Swindon breakaway, and he came absolutely flying out of the box and sent the guy into outer space.
I'll tell you what, if you want to ingratiate yourself with not just Exeter City fans, but with English football supporters, and that is the way to go about it.
Well, it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
The guy, honestly, he's still orbiting the moon on his way back down, I think.
Yeah, and yet when Jake Taylor sort of absolutely wipes that guy out just because he might be about to break away and then have a little bit of a advantage on the break, still no love for the...
I think it will come.
The little ginger prince. Is he ginger?
Yeah, I'd say he is. I'd say he denied that he is, but he's got some ginger.
Yeah, he's not full ginger.
No.
He's like got sort of ginger aspects.
Yeah. Ginger aspects. That'd be the name of his album.
Yeah. It sounds like a biscuit.
A posh ginger biscuit. Do you want one of those half Dutch shortbread things and Marks & Spencer's has been dipped in chocolate, or do you want a ginger aspect?
Yeah.
I'll have both, Nan.
Yeah. Shall I get some ginger aspects and darts?
Darts? Well, yeah, quite. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So you see, listeners, Dan will go into the countryside if he gets a trip to Darts Farm on the way.
Nah, I hate it there.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Darts Farm and you like it, you're a Chiefs fan, surely.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's full of Chiefs fans, and that's one of the reasons I don't like it.
Get in touch, listeners, if we're wrong, but I don't think we are.
I don't want to pay like 20 quid for a packet of biscuits, and that's not an exaggeration.
I tell you what, I know what the Darts Farm have gone wrong, because you get your fried breakfast, and the tomato comes out, the fried tomato, and it's still on the vine. That is not for football fans. That's for rugby fans.
That's for rugger buggers.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Is my tomato on the vine? Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
I don't want a rab jacket either.
A what?
You know those like rab jackets?
No.
It's like a...
Don't know what that is.
Oh, don't worry.
A jacket, an actual jacket?
Yeah.
Not like I thought it was like a culinary thing.
No, the make is like, it's rab, and it's like, I don't know, if you went to a Chiefs game, you'd see a lot of them.
Okay.
It's sort of like a posh version of North Face, which is what you'd see on the Big Bank.
Good. I like that. Okay, well, get in touch, Darts Farm, if you want us to sponsor the show.
Yeah.
We are available.
No, actually, I don't want it.
Doesn't want it?
No.
You don't want their tomatoes on the vine?
You can stick it, Darts Farm. Don't want your sponsorship.
We want Exbridge Cafe. Get in touch, Exbridge Cafe, if you want to
Yeah, Harley's.
Harley gone.
Not there anymore.
R.I.P. Harley's. Hardly knew ye. While our league season is progressing very nicely, thank you very much, our first attempt at a cup, bringing a cup home to St James Park, has fallen at the first hurdle.
Didn't go so well with that one, did it?
No, up to St Andrews, to the adopted home of Coventry City.
Yep.
Absolutely thumped 4-1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because I like having a little cup run. I like to go out in the next round.
I liked beating Ipswich last year. That was jolly.
And then we had that Fulham game, and that was like such a good time going up to... I'd never been to Craven Cottage before, and I loved it. And it was like unbelievable atmosphere. From the City fans, you couldn't hear a peep out of the Fulham. I mean, fair enough. They're used to playing. They're in the Premier League that year, but like... it was great fun.
Yeah.
And,
so anyway,
a nice
we're
little
out.
ground. But we're out, and it's a shame because,
I mean,
I
Taylor's
hate
obviously...
Coventry.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for them a bit because, they, I don't know what's happened to them. Someone's
they're not allowed...
Someone's done them in or something.
Wasps.
Money.
It's rugby again, isn't it? It's Wasps rugby.
Won't let them play.
Own their ground now. Imagine if the Chiefs moved into St James Park.
Yeah, but that would have been...
Raging.
Presumably that's because of some... Oh, my God, imagine it. Because of some mismanagement or something.
Yeah, I think they never should have built it. Then it got sold to the council, and then the council said they'd sell it back to Coventry City, but they couldn't buy it. So I think Wasps bought it.
Right.
Something like that.
That could have happened to us in the old Russell and Bromley days.
Yeah,
What are they called?
Russell and Bromley.
Yeah.
They spent all our cash on shoes, on hush puffies.
That could have happened, but it didn't.
No. So I always feel sorry for the teams that have been
exactly,
run into the
especially
ground.
because we kind of know what it's like to be like on the verge of
And they've had years. Coventry City have been round the houses for years and years. And they're a big old club.
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever. I mean, they'll console themselves by beating us and getting to the second round of the Carabao. But
yeah, there you go.
There you go. What's your problem? But they did beat us soundly. Sweeney with the one consolation. So we got to wait for the FA Cup. But
Yeah.
whatever. That'll come round. I would very happily take a very good promotion run over a bit of cup action, as I'm sure most people would.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah.
So with that in mind, there's the league games come thick and fast, and I'm afraid to tell you, listeners, that one of us is involved in a dereliction of duty, and they're going on holiday somewhere sunny, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's me you're talking about. But
That is you,
they're not actually missing any home games. So
No, well done. But you are missing...
very carefully planned.
That's good. We are missing some podcast recording opportunities. So we're recording this on Monday afternoon. Tuesday night, tomorrow, which will already have happened for you, is Oldham away. So we're going to cleverly, with the means of technology, splice together our opinions on the outcome. You will not notice, listeners. It will be so beautifully crafted.
This is a trial, isn't it? We're trialing something here. We're making the most of the digital age in which we live.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes.
I don't think you'll know. I don't think you'll even be able to tell.
You've got to take some risks in this game.
In this podcast game.
The podcast market is saturated. You've got to be able to do something that makes you stand out from the crowd. And what we're doing is very, very futuristic. So just, brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves. It's like AI meets...
Yeah, anyway, let's not big this up too much because there's probably going to be a disaster.
So City go to Oldham, who, we'll see. Their season's kind of not really...
Yeah, no Scholesy anymore.
No Scholesy. But there's no point in talking about that in a sense because it's already happened for you. We'll save that for the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Then we go away to Morecambe. 2 points so far. They've not won yet at this point in the season. They're always relegation candidates. They're a very small club. I don't mean any disrespect here, but they would kind of say as much. Kevin Ellison, of course.
Yeah, the Shrimps.
Entering his 55th year as a footballer. He's now 71.
I know.
Still going. Looking more and more like Voldemort by the day. We can assume he's got Horcruxes all over the place. That's a Harry Potter reference, listeners.
Don't know what that means. Never seen it.
But essentially it means he's got the fountain of eternal youth through evil means.
Okay.
That's him. That's
I think
Ellison.
he was very supportive last year of our campaign to...
sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on side with Big Kev Ellison at the minute.
Fair enough. But you can't deny...
I just thought that was fun. I thought he was really getting involved in all the kind of
You tweeted
hype
him.
on... No, I was actually tweeting Yuri Geller, and I mentioned him. But anyway, it didn't work.
That's
anyway,
a normal sentence.
As if that's a shock to anyone. actually, no, Yuri Geller never actually agreed to do any of his magic.
No.
So
Kevin Ellison's the one with the dark magic, mate. So,
I thought between the two of them, they might be able to come up with something.
well,
but they
in
don't.
fact, they did. It was us that let the deal down.
Yeah, but Ellison didn't score, is what I'm saying.
Oh, right,
It's just
well-
reinforcing my, belief that magic isn't real.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Thought this was a football part magic podcast.
No, actually saying that, David Blaine did play a part in keeping our club alive, didn't he? So maybe I do believe in
Very small
magic.
part. Thank you, David. Thank you from all of us.
Thank you, David.
So that's Morecambe away. And then Mansfield back at home are, of course, in a sense, the old enemy, the team we seem to have played more and been up against in like kind of
They seem like the
crunch
new one,
matches
don't
more.
they? In my
Lincoln have
mind, it
gone.
used to be like Lincoln, and then it was like,
But it was Mansfield before Lincoln, wasn't
Yeah,
it? They've
but
kind of
then
always been there.
there's always
a bit
like-
like Scotland or Cornwall.
yeah, one of us needs to get promoted, don't we?
Oh, I'd love to leave them behind.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if we're not going to, I just wish they would, so we could just be like,
Yeah, but you did this last year. You wished
Rid of each
Lincoln a
other.
happy promotion so we could get rid of them, and now they've gone. They swanned off
they
into
were
the
always
sunset.
going, weren't they? Mansfield,
they
I
were.
feel like a bit more on more like kind of our level, aren't they?
Well,
hang on, is
maybe.
that not where Nicky Jose was?
No,
this
it's when Nicky Maynard's gone. The other Nicky.
No.
Josie. Was he Mansfield before he was Charlton?
Was he not on loan at Mansfield?
Oh, was he? I can't
I
even
could be.
remember.
I could be completely wrong.
I think we're getting our Nickies mixed up.
I know Maynard's gone there this year.
Maynard's there, and of course the other Danny Rose is there.
Who was Maynard that last year when we were sort of going on about him and his wine gum factory or whatever it was?
You're absolutely right to say that Josie was at Mansfield last
There you
year.
go.
So they released him.
Right.
So
Was it not a loan?
yeah, I think they probably would have had the option to buy.
Okay.
So, well, maybe he'll fancy a goal. That'd be good, wouldn't it? I'd like to see him on the score sheet soon. I mean, we were really chuffed with that signing, and it's just not really happened for him yet. But like you say, old,
Yeah, I mean, it's early days.
old matey. Maynard was at. I'm fast googling
Swindon.
this. You probably can't tell because it sounds so slick. Maynard was at Bury,
Oh, right.
who
Okay.
of course went up and are soon to be not just back but extinct.
Yeah.
So Maynard's there. I mean, he did well against us for Bury, but I don't know. The season could be quite different by the time we play Mansfield. But
Yeah.
I'd hope for us to kind of
Well,
keep this thing going.
we've seen-
I love it. It's like tight at the back, getting the goals when we need them. Recipe for success.
Yeah, there's areas. I mean, there's definitely positives, isn't there? But there is, I can't quite get too content with it just yet. I just think there's things like we've got that back four. If that's how I know we've got this guy on loan who, from what some Notts Forest, I'll call them that, Nottingham Forest fans say, he's a real prospect, and a lot of them were hoping that he would break through to the first team for them this year.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe he comes in, but if that's not the case, then that back four of ours is seriously lacking in pace. I know we got away with it, maybe, and they did well against a quick Swindon team who would play a little bit differently to some of the other teams we've already played this year and will play against. And I did think we did struggle last year against teams that play that like Swindon did. Quick football with the ball on the ground. We seem to be a lot better against your Lincolns who play the kind of hoof, kind of rough and tumble kind of game.
Yeah.
And we've got through that, the first test of that kind with nearly 3 points, but with a point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that is a positive. We've got to get some goals, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, is this start of the season better than the end of last season goals-wise? I mean, we couldn't...
Yes,
couldn't.
technically, because we didn't score any in the last game.
You've got me on the technicality.
I think we're not far. I mean, I think we're in a similar position, but obviously we've got new players, new personnel who are still getting going.
I mean, if we see Martin at full fitness, a Josie getting some, and Bowman getting some,
And Williams.
and Williams, he's played some really nice crosses. I
Yeah.
stand by my prediction.
And he was dangerous on Saturday, wasn't he? It's not like, but he was just really getting down the line on the week
Yeah,
in the previous home
before.
game, the
Yeah.
first game of the season, he was really getting down the line and into the box, wasn't he, a lot. And didn't have quite as much success, but he was still, dangerous.
I didn't know how to judge that Macclesfield performance because Macclesfield could be terrible this year, but actually they managed to win the next game. So,
And Big Sol's gone.
Big Sol's gone, which I think, listeners, you'll find. I called.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be quite that quick. So he's gone, but Macclesfield managed to win their last game. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think Williams has really got something about him. And if Bowman and Josie can start thinking, and I think Williams, he's growing in confidence all the time.
Yeah.
I think we'll see more of that. And you just see him kind of taking on everyone at every opportunity.
Yeah.
We could be laughing.
Yeah. And he's not going to have, 100% success rate,
No.
or, getting past people. And, yeah, sometimes the ball is going to get a bit tied up in his feet and it'll trickle out for a goal kick. But the more he does it, the more that just means we're getting into those attacking positions and he'll have success. Like, whether that's... I just hope he can get a few himself, score a few. I think that will help him to get off the mark. But he's going to get some other people on the score sheet. That is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, if he's putting in 5 or 6 crosses a game with those two strikers,
yeah,
I think we'll see goals off that. And you know what? With the weird, both 2 weird goals, Bowman and Jay.
Yeah. Well, people like that, Matt Jay, if he's going to play, and Nicky Law and, Jake Taylor getting, arriving in the box.
Yeah, exactly. And those goals tell us that they're getting in the right places.
Yeah.
That when there's dangerous balls or weird balls or whatever, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think from an early season point of view, and listeners, you'll be one game further down the line than us when you hear this. I'm optimistic currently that really what's a brand new team is starting to gel really nicely together.
Yeah, it's been like I was saying earlier on, it's not been this kind of amazing kind of really enthusiastic start where we had brilliant, this is going to be great, a bit like it was last season, but it's just been steady and showing good signs.
Yeah.
Along with the concerns that are there, I think I feel more positive than negative.
Excellent. Wow, that game against Oldham really was
nothing special at all.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was just really
disappointing. Imagine having all that pressure and not converting any of them.
That player for Exeter City, who I love,
Lewis Ward,
was
pretty
outstanding.
Yeah, when he did that thing
with his hands.
that was great.
But the referee, what an absolute...
normal person.
Some things he did were really good, and other things weren't.
Yes, interesting point, Dan. But listen.
Have you ever been to Oldham? I thought it was...
an interesting example of Renaissance period architecture.
I've never been to Oldham, obviously, and I'm never going to, but I'm really glad that we got the result of a
0-0 draw, bringing 1 point back home to beautiful Devon.
Matt Taylor's clothing items were interesting, with that...
jumper.
and that...
trousers.
Okay, final thoughts, I suppose. I've just got one final thought, which was, who did we play again? Saturday? Just gone?
Swindon Town.
Swindon Town. Their manager, who you'll know his name,
Richie Wellens.
Why was he wearing...
Well, I didn't
those
see.
trainers?
I was sat in the IP.
Yeah, so he had a shirt and tie on, and then sort of smart trousers, but then bright white trainers.
Really?
Really weird look.
What,
yeah.
You've got to wear your school uniform, but you're allowed to wear your trainers
It's
in?
like school uniform, but it's lunchtime, so you're allowed to put your trainers on.
To play football in the cage, presumably.
Yeah, something like that. Or to just look cool in front of girls.
Did it look cool in front of girls?
I don't think there was many there. No, there
Hold
would have been
on.
some. There would have been some girls there. I don't know. Let's ask them. Any of, I mean, not just girls. Anyone. Did anyone find that, arousing?
There's not really enough arousal in football these days.
I guess not, no.
Or
Let's-
maybe too much.
Maybe let's keep that out of it. Let's keep arousals out of football. We've got enough going on with VAR.
That's true.
I mean, we haven't. Cause,
I mean, VAR almost spells arousals, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what it's short for.
Is it?
Very arousing technology.
Well, good luck to him and his white trainers. It's like our friend who we were at a Beautiful Days Festival with yesterday, who she made the absolute mistake of wearing a pair of white Vans in a mud pit.
Oh, what are you doing?
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
So, if on a football pitch, you've got to do a kind of, ball's coming to you, don't want to embarrass yourself in front of Matt Taylor, ball wizard.
No.
You punt it back, and you've got
See any Exeter City players, past or present, at Beautiful Days Festival?
No.
No, me neither.
I saw a couple of people who looked a bit like Ryan Bowman,
Right.
you know,
Were you there, Rye?
troublemakers. Well, I mean, their Instagram at the minute is just him and Taylor. They're never going to the same place, but they're going to family attractions around Devon. Now, I kind of get the Bowman thing. He's back in Devon. You know, his wife's from here, I think, and he's new to the area.
Yeah.
Jake Taylor he must have been to these places hundreds of times now.
Yeah, but you're a man with child.
Yeah.
You're with child, right?
Yeah, it's just it's just the shirt I'm wearing.
Okay, you've got children. You've got children. They like going to the same place over and over again, don't they?
I suppose that's
true. And then
true.
it's like probably just moaning now, I want to go there again. And he's just like, yeah, whatever.
But he's got my children are older. His kids like little. Like Jake, they don't know. Take them anywhere.
Like, how old are they? I don't follow him, so I don't know.
18 months old?
Yeah, is that old enough to sort of go like
No.
country world of
World of Country Life.
Pleasure.
Country World of Life.
country world of pleasure? I don't know what it's called.
That's somewhere else. The Country World of Pleasure. Don't go there, mate. Trouble.
All right, okay.
Anyway, I mean,
Maybe he likes it there.
I'm sure they do.
Maybe he gets a generous discount.
Maybe. I just think go at Verbier Manor sometime, mate. Go up Diggerland.
Yeah, Verbier Manor.
Enjoy yourself.
Not there anymore.
It's not. I used to go there a lot. We used to get in free as
They had those crazy bikes.
they did,
those
with
BMX
the
bikes where
wheels,
the
yeah.
wheels are, the axles are off centre.
Off-centre.
Have we talked about this before?
I think not on the podcast.
Have we not?
But Verbier Manor was excellent. I went to Willand County Primary School, and on Friday afternoons, anyone from that primary school got in free to Verbier Manor. So it was all of us trooped up there after school to just hammer that death slide, literally to death.
Wow. Yeah.
Several children died on that death slide,
Is that why it closed down?
probably. I mean, we should have known from the name, but goodbye, sweet princes. I think Taylor should get up there. And I also think he'd like Dawlish Warren. I never see him at Dawlish Warren.
Oh, it's horrendous, isn't it?
It's no worse than...
Oh, I hate it there.
You don't like Dawlish Warren?
Nah.
You sure you're from Devon?
I
Don't like the
haven't got-
countryside, don't like Dawlish Warren?
I haven't got any kids, so why would I want to go to Dawlish
I don't
Warren?
think I've been to Dawlish Warren with kids. I think
Well,
it's just
like
a place.
arcades.
The arcades?
And then like no beach, just like some like gross sand and rocks, and
that's
then
what
like
beach is.
horrible brown sea.
That is the English Channel that you're talking of like that.
Yeah.
That's the ex-estuary.
Nah,
How
not
dare
going
you.
there, mate. No chance.
Not going to Dawlish Warren?
No.
Where do you prefer for a beach?
Just make it worthwhile. Get yourself up to North Devon.
Wow.
Or even North Cornwall. You know, it's only an hour and a half down.
Flipping
the
heck.
A38.
I'm sorry, listeners. I didn't know he was going to come out with such things.
Yeah, or if you really want to get bougie,
Get
Bla-
what?
bougie, Blackpool Sands in Dorset. That is the best beach in the world.
Is that right?
Well, it's not, but you know, it's nice.
Okay.
Shingle Beach. You know what that is?
Well, like stones, but not really stones.
It's like in between sand and stones.
You're living in the in-between. The
Yeah.
now and the not yet.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Listeners, on that note, by the time you'll be listening to this, Dan will be on a Greek beach somewhere, and I will be at Dawlish Warren winning my fortune on the slot.
I know where I'd rather be.
So do I. Thanks for
Oldham.
listening.
All right, cool. Cheers.
See you soon.